Hello, everybody. Welcome. I am so excited for our first live post as the college doctors and really excited to kind of just introduce ourselves and what we're going to be doing here. So I'll get started, then Jess, I'm going to pass it over to you. But so my name is Dr. Amanda Sterk, and I am one of the directors of college and career advising at Method Learning. Look at my beautiful poster behind me. And we have been doing college advising for the last over 6 months here at Method. And Method has been doing transformational work within the ACT, SAT space for over 20 years. And as we all know, we really had to move from, it's not just test scores, right? We also have to look at a student's application and their resume and all of the other things that go into getting a student college and career ready. And so we were fortunate, Jessica and I, to be brought on and really support Method in making sure we have a comprehensive college advising program. So Jessica, why don't you introduce your name and who you are?
Sure. Hey, everyone. My name is Dr. Jessica Ruzicka, and I'm excited to be here at Method Learning. We really do, Amanda, have the most comprehensive program that I have seen. I have been in the education space my whole career, from higher education to K through 12, working as a college counselor, working alongside teenagers, helping them to kind of finalize what their next step is for after high school. And with Method Learning, having the SAT, ACT prep, and then the college counseling part, it really does provide the family with all the necessary information that they can utilize at one place. So excited to be here. And yeah, we have been working with a lot of families already in the last 6 months. So excited to continue to build and grow this program with you and Method.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, one of the things I think about as we're building this program and really providing service to families, I'm really cognizant, have been an educator just like you for over 20 years in K-12 as a college counselor, or a school counselor, a teacher in higher ed with huge programs, is the lack of information that families really have is one where sometimes it's like information overload, like there's so much out there and it just gets so overwhelming. And since COVID and test optional and everything going on, like it's just shifted so much. So let's just take a minute, Jessica, and why don't you kind of explain what are some of the shifts you've seen in college admissions over the last few years?
Sure. Yes, so the test optional has been a game changer the last few years. However, I've also seen it still be very consistent. A lot of the admissions counselors that I have come in contact with, they still are looking for that test score. And in the state, South Carolina, you still need the test score for the state scholarship. So it still is a piece of the application, even though you can get accepted being test optional. So that has been huge. Again, the holistic approach that more colleges are looking at the whole person. So they're not just looking at transcript, courses, rigor, although that still is very high priority for them. They're looking at what do you do outside of school? What do you do? How are you engaged in your community? What types of activities do you do? Any community service? So are you building your resume? That's a big one. And of course, the one that I would say we've been working on mostly the last few months is the college essay, right? So we've been helping many students craft their essay, answering questions to the colleges that the admissions counselor really can't see through any other document that comes across their desk. So the admissions counselors want to see what makes you up. How are you different? How are you unique? Tell me about yourself. So that is the creative part that I think colleges are really trying to get to the heart of who you are, and why would you be successful at our school, and how can we support you in that.
And I'm always, since we do help families through the whole process, right? And as early as kind of ninth grade, thinking about what are my opportunities? What should I be tapping into? I do a lot of, and you do too, a lot of career sort of coaching and sort of what are my interests and my
Yes.
values. but it's really shocking to me is how many families get to the end of the process, and not necessarily with us, but sort of on their own. And they're like, I wish I would have known X, Y, Z. I wish I would have known that. Or I wish I would have had guidance on how to put my documents forward, right? Because I look through and I'm like, they're like, oh, I already have my resume. I'm like, well, let me look at it. And I'm like, and then they miss big key information. Like they taught themselves how to code and created a whole app. And they're like, oh, well, I didn't know because I didn't do that at school that I should add that. And
Right.
it's really surprising how much these kids do, but it's not really being shown on their application.
Exactly. Yeah. I had a student today that I was talking to, and she speaks 4 languages, and she didn't think it was a big deal. I was like, oh yes, that's a huge deal. We need to know about that.
We need to talk about that. Yeah,
Yeah, let's
absolutely.
definitely talk about that. Yeah. And the career part of it, yes, like picking a major, that is always the number one question that high schoolers seem to have. There seems to be so many different careers options out there, and it can be overwhelming, like you said. So much information being thrown at you. And I think the thing is being aware of what's coming next, having a plan in place. If you think you might want to go into the medical field, well, then taking the classes that would align with that major. So these are all things, again, 9th, 10th grade, you can start really kind of honing in. What are my strengths? What might I like in a college environment? So doing the college tours, that is always very much helpful too for the family and the student to see where do I see myself in 4 years.
And I think really importantly, and I know that you believe in this too, but I really try to teach any student that we work with on how to self-advocate. So whether they need more rigor and they need specialized courses, or how to reach out and get those unique opportunities, or sort of even how to engage your school and the community. So because there really are a lot of opportunities and families just don't know about them. And again, I don't want any family to have a regret and they get to the end of the process like, I wish I would have known about that.
Exactly. The thing that comes to my mind when you're saying that is like different admissions requirements by different colleges, right? If you don't know that your dream school requires, let's say, 3 years of a foreign language and you graduate with 2, so again, preparing yourself for the future early on makes the process so much more smooth and stress-free. If you have that, building that plan from early on. And like you
That's what I
said,
mean. Yeah, no, and I think we both have gotten such great feedback. They're putting on Google, all the reviews and everything that's going on. But that, our approach obviously is a little bit different in terms of really being that transformational change for the student. Like, yes, I care about your list and I care about where you're going, but more importantly, I care about your success. Because right now, unfortunately, only 41% of students who start college end up graduating within 4 years. So 59% of students are either dropping out or they're taking 5, 6, 7 years to graduate. And I don't know about you, you have kids, I have kids. I don't have a 7-year college plan for my kids.
No.
I'm not saying.
No. And a lot of that stems back to picking the right major, making sure that you're in the right space and the right environment. I highly encourage that too. So I do think our approach is much more individualized, where we are saying to a student, hey, do you think you want a big school, a small school? How close to home do you want to be? What class size are you looking for? Comparing and contrasting different program outlines for different majors within schools. And yeah, the same feedback I've been getting is it's very appreciative that we kind of take the time to walk with the students through the whole process. So.
And I think that's kind of what's unique about us and the advisors that we have is that, we really are all in the system. Like we know where the pain points and the barriers are for students and families, and then how to navigate those. And so just kind of like you said, removing sort of that stress and really focusing on the student scaffolding, right? The information, like we start here, and we build up. And I know I had a parent the other day, they went to the college fair, and they had a big presentation. And I mean, the list of text messages, like, blah, 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 you know, like going on. And it's like, you're not there yet. Like,
Right.
we have to get the application done. And they're like, oh, wait, so I just have to focus on this? I'm like, that's all you have to focus on. And we're just going step by, and they're like, oh, they got her so worked up because they threw everything all at
Right.
once. I said, no, if we scaffold it, it's not overwhelming for the student. It's not overwhelming for the parents.
Exactly. Right. It's more manageable. Exactly. And everything's not urgent. It's a process. I remind my students, it's a process. It's not going to happen overnight. And, you know, honestly, that's why I love the Method platform, because we have the test prep built into it. So you're not having to go here for test prep, here for college advising, here for kind of like a career assessment. We really can offer all of it to support the whole family. So yeah, kind of like you said,
And
we'll
we're
give you all the
communicating
pieces
amongst each other, right? So like a lot of times our classes and things, like we're all communing all the time with, you know, oh, Tony's doing this, and oh, great job, you know, he got a 1550, and he's, you know, so we're all sort of communicating and working on that. And I think that whole approach is just, it's what's needed, because that's what the student needs, right?
Exactly.
We take care of the academic and the college admissions.
Right, exactly. Kind of to support them when we meet them where they are. So just meeting, you know, if someone comes in as a freshman or a junior, or we have a lot of seniors right now working on the common application. So helping them.
Which is fantastic. And because of that, you know, we are bringing on some new advisors, and we're really hand selecting everybody that have been doing this for 15, 20 years. They know their craft. They know how to work with students. I think that's just so critical.
Right. And the other critical piece, Amanda, reminds me of, you know, we really do stay up to date on all of the admissions fields, right? There is new things happening almost every day. And so a lot of the parents I talk to, they say, well, when I applied, you know, 20 years ago, I'm like, yeah, even last year was different. Things change every year. So that's another thing I think key component is that we do stay on top of all the latest information and reports and trends going on in higher education.
Absolutely. And so I just want to kind of reiterate, you know, as we're obviously building out college advising and our comprehensive programs, we have so many resources available. So we have a blog, we have webinars coming up. We are going to really take over social media and really start doing more. So you definitely want to follow us. You want to share, because we're going to come on and we're going to do this every Friday, 11 o'clock. And start sharing key information. But we're also, like I said, we write, we have newsletters, we have stuff. So you definitely want to get connected with us. So my email, in case anybody wants it, is amanda@methodlearning.com. And we have
Jessica@methodlearning.com.
We're very easy. We keep it simple. It's Amanda and Jessica@methodlearning.com.
Yeah.
So, but definitely check us out. We do have the new Common App Power Pack, which we're going to be sending information out. And if you're interested in that, just people that just need that review before they hit submit, because a mistake can be very costly, whether it's admissions or scholarships. And so having that sort of just thorough review is really critical. So if that's something you're interested in, we have that. And then obviously we have our more one-on-one individual packages as well to help, as Jessica said, whether you're freshman, sophomore, junior, even senior, we are here to help you. So I think we're good. I mean, this was a pretty good first time. What do you think, Jessica?
It was. The other thing too, just from a counseling standpoint, is that we do have another webinar coming up, I think Wednesday, next Wednesday at 8 o'clock, talking all about the digital PSAT, which we know is something brand new that the College Board has done. So come check us out. We'll put the link under here as well for that webinar. But yeah.
Yeah, so I know as a parent of a junior, I am definitely watching that. I had my daughter take the digital PSAT power class that we had this summer, and it was 18 hours, and it was fantastic. Like, talk about people, I mean, they have been diving into this digital, and we are prepared for it. So it'll be a great thing, because there's big changes coming up in how they score and what they're doing in the different sections of the test. As a parent, you definitely want to log into that as well. So, All
All
right.
right.
Miss Jessica, it's a pleasure
All
as
right.
always.
You
And we
too.
will see you next week, guys. Take care, everybody.